I feel like it's different every year. You got to get acclimated to who you are as a team, your new identity. There's new leadership roles, but like I said, or like you said, with a lot of people returning, there's a lot of same faces. I think we're returning 9 starters on the defense, so it's like we kind of know what it is. So I feel like the offense kind of has something to prove in that aspect. So we're looking to compete this spring with the defense, and it's gonna be a fun one. Will, um, he's a funny dude, very likable guy. We kind of hit it off instantly. We've thrown a couple times, not team organized stuff, but just on the weekends, weekdays after practice and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to see what he can do this spring. I feel like he's a phenomenal talent, really smart quarterback, and he's a veteran guy, 5th-year guy. So I'm hoping he can bring some experience.
Mac, do you have any injuries you're carrying into the spring? Do you need it? Will you get full workload, or how are you feeling physically?
Yeah, no, I feel great. Yeah, I've been working with my trainers. We have the best training staff in the nation. They're getting me right every single day to be able to put my best foot forward this spring, and I'm looking forward to do that.
Like, where are you going to be lining up this spring?
Probably bouncing around a couple different spots, just honing my craft on the inside and outside in preparation for the next level. So don't necessarily know where I'm going to be playing at in the next level. So just want to continue honing my craft everywhere I can.
What is it like having 5 quarterbacks on the roster right now as a receiver?
Yeah. I feel like for me on the outside looking in, it excites me because I know the competition is going to push them to be the best version of themselves. I feel like part of the reason C.J. Stroud became what he was because he was going at it every day with Kyle and Jack Miller. We didn't know who the starter was, so you had to put your best foot forward every day and compete. So with 5 quarterbacks this spring, that's exactly the way it's going to be. So I'm excited to see the competitive spirit come out in those guys.
Emeka, when did you know you were coming back?
I probably knew I was coming back, like, I don't know the date, but a day before I posted that I was. I took all the time I needed with the decision to consult my family, to consult God about it. And I felt like ultimately the Lord led me to return for another year to do something bigger than just for myself. So this season I'm going to really just use it all to dedicate it to the Lord and just do that.
How influential was it that a lot of the other guys in your class were just making the same decision? Or was it just a thing just for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously them coming back helps and we want to rally together. But ultimately I was going to make the best decision for myself. And I was going to just walk by faith and go wherever I felt like the Lord was calling me. So through many hours of prayer and talks with my family and agents and just gathering all the information I could, coming back made the most sense for me. And obviously I couldn't pass up another year with my guys.
What are the biggest things you feel like you can get out of it personally being back here for another year?
I feel like me coming back obviously was kind of big news. And with that comes I have more viewership on all my platforms and stuff like that. So I'm going to use that to glorify the Lord to the maximum and just use this next year to make sure His name is exalted and show people the hope in Jesus Christ.
What are your early thoughts on Jeremiah?
Freak athlete. One of the quietest dudes I've ever met. Not a man of too many words, but he came in and he put his head down and he worked. I say this every time to freshmen who come in, but the only thing you have to do as a freshman is just shut up and listen. Like, all you have to do is just shut up, put your head down, and work. And that's something he understands.
How ready is freak? What does that mean in your dictionary? What does freak mean?
I would say there's nothing he really can't do. He runs fast, he jumps high, he's strong. He's a natural pass catcher. Freak.
And is he doing what you said? Is he sitting in? Is he taking everything in? How's he acting, comporting himself?
Yeah, he's very coachable. I do my best to uplift the young guys and give them pointers here and there, and he's always willing to listen. He always puts his best foot forward every single day. He hates to lose. He's a competitor, which is huge, especially in Zone 6. So I think he has a bright future here.
How ready is Cornell for a bigger role this year?
No, he's always been ready. He's been ready since he was in high school.
What does it take for any true freshman receiver at Ohio State to get ready to get on the field? I mean, you and Marvin went through it when you were young guys trying to do that. What's it take?
Yeah, I mean, I would think, logically speaking, you have to understand the offense. You have to know the ins and outs, just not your play, but your role in the play, the concept of it all, which takes a little bit to learn, but it's not impossible. And you just got to be able to block, go out there, make big plays. But ultimately, if you're talented enough, you're going to get on the field.
Is Jeremiah intelligent enough and mature enough and all that stuff to start as a freshman?
Yeah, I mean, I believe he is. I think the sky's the limit for him. I'm not going to say that he's starting as a freshman because that's not for the far future. But if he continues his hard work and his diligence and his craft, and he's able to learn the offense, the sky's the limit for him, like I said.
And what's it like for you? I mean, you came in, you and Marvin immediately were praised for being mature beyond your years.
Mhm.
Now you're clearly the most experienced guy on Trillium's gone. How much are you embracing that leadership role? How excited are you to be the leader of this unit?
Yeah, I've always felt like a leader ever since I was growing up. The leadership role is something that I feel a lot of pride about in any area of my life, but something I'm so passionate about, such as football. I feel even a more drive to be a leader. So being that I'm the older guy in my fourth year, I have a lot of experience on the field. I'm just trying to pass down that knowledge that I've acquired and accumulated over these last 4 years. Kind of just keep the track record of Zone 6 that we have going.
Emeka Brandon wasn't here this time last year. What have you kind of seen from the way he's carried himself in winter workouts?
Yeah, I mean, Brandon doesn't get enough praise. He's just as mature as anybody I've ever seen. He handles his business. He's a super competitor too. So him coming in with Carnell helped a lot because they push each other every single day. If you hear them talking in the weight room, you think they weren't friends sometimes, but that's part of what makes them great. So I'm super excited for Brandon's future. He's wise beyond his years. He's learned the offense lightning quick. He's very talented, pass catcher, run after the catch, big play. There's nothing he can't do.
Were you and Marv ever like that too in the weight room?
Yeah, but the way Marv and our personalities work, we're not too outspoken about it, but we're kind of the dudes, if we take an L and a rep to each other, it's kind of eating at us on the inside, something that we're going to hold in for a couple weeks. There's still a couple reps from freshman year that I wish I could have got over on them. So, yeah, there's a little two different personalities behind it, but both are super competitive in nature.
You saw Marv move around a lot last year. You mentioned how you could do that potentially this year.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Cotton Bowl, you lined up a lot outside. What do you feel like your skill set brings to maybe lining out outside instead of the slot?
Yeah, I mean, coming into college, I'd never played the slot before. I was always outside growing up. So it felt natural to me going back there for the Cotton Bowl. I just feel like if you get the ball in my hands on the outside quickly, I feel very confident with the ball in my hands and my ability to gain yards after the catch. And on the outside, you even have more of a mismatch because you're not matched up with linebackers and safeties. You're typically lined up with corners who are smaller in frame, not as great as tacklers, So I feel like just having that yak ability on the outside has a huge potential for X plays.
What did you know about
Two more
Will Howard
questions.
before he came to Ohio State? What did you know about him, and did you, for want of another term, Google him when Ohio State? You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
even see more highlights. How did you do your homework on him?
Yeah, I didn't know much about Will. I knew Kansas State had a pretty solid quarterback. And then I watched his highlights, and I was like, yeah, he has something special to him. So when I knew we were interested into him, like you said, I did my research. I watched his highlights, watched some of his interviews, talking with Coach Day. I knew that he was an intelligent quarterback. And from what I saw on film, he looks like he can really sling it, very accurate. And, his ability to be able to run the ball and lower his shoulder because of his big frame is something that's going to be a weapon for any offense.
With him, personality-wise, what have you been impressed with? I mean, seems like a grown man.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your impression?
I mean, just very likable guy. You're kind of at ease when you're talking to him. The first time I ever talked to him, it was just like we hit it off right away. So I feel like that ability to be able to connect with people is a trait that is very it's very good to have as a quarterback. So just seeing that in him and recognizing that from day one was something I was excited about.
I wanted to ask you off the field. I wanted to ask you about the new prop bet regulations here in Ohio. You've been with Ohio State for a few years now, so you've kind of been through the progression.
The new what? Sorry.
The new prop bet regulations.
Okay.
There's no more prop bets for college athletes
Mhm.
in the state of Ohio. I'm just curious if you, as somebody who's been here for a few years, felt any of that harassment, felt any of that pressure online from bettors and gamblers and things like that
Mhm.
last year. And if so, what do you think that this new change, how it may improve the emotional and mental health of players?
Yeah, I mean the main thing you have to recognize as an athlete is that not everyone's going to like you, not everyone's going to think highly of you, and most people are going to voice their internet or voice their opinion on the internet. So the one thing Coach Day instills in us is to, whether it's good news or bad news, tune it out, especially during the season. You don't want to be sitting on your high horse when people are giving you praise because you just had the game of your life, and you don't want to be down in the dumps because they're ridiculing you for not getting one extra receiving yard, so they didn't hit their parlay. So I mean, you get DMs and stuff like that, but you brush them off. I mean, we have great mental health specialists who you can always talk to if things are really eating at you. But the main thing is like I said, Coach Day is just in our ear about it. Just don't give into it. Don't give into all the DMs and all the ridicule that you're getting online. And even the praise is even more. It can be more dangerous at times because then you get a big head. You're not so humble and you really think you're more than you are. So. hmm I mean, I can't really say how he's done with it, behind closed doors, but I know that every second that he's in the building, he handles his business. He's a great teammate, even better friend. I feel like I can go to Carnell with anything in my life and talk to him about it, and he's going to have ears to listen. And he's going to give me advice on it. So I just hope that me personally and us as a team, we can be a pillar that Carnell can come to at any time in his life. I can't even imagine what he went through last year, so just handling it with so much grace, I can only commend him for it. So. Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of change in this offseason, but I don't think the players paid too much attention to it. We were really about our business this offseason. This is one of the best winners we've ever had, so we were really locked in and focused on hitting all our metrics and getting stronger and faster in preparation for the spring. So we know that the college football is a crazy world. You don't know what you're going to have one day, and that can change instantly the next day. So when we had Coach O'Brien, it was great. I got to know him a little bit. Didn't necessarily spend too much time with him, but now that we have Chip, we're looking forward to learning underneath him, and he has a great track record. So we're excited to bring him into our family. Cool, appreciate it.